Greetings and welcome to the Sleep Science Top 1. This evening, the exploration will delve into the peculiar and frequently unexpected mechanisms of the mind. One might envision their mental life as a realm of personal control, yet the insights from psychology reveal a contrasting narrative. The experience one has is shaped not solely by oneself, but rather by a myriad of invisible influences that remain entirely unnoticed. The intricate processes at play mold your attention, expectations, and emotions, all under the direction of a brain that remains a mystery to us. There, the marvel unfolds. The mental tools you use to navigate daily life possess the power to alter your perceptions, reshape your memories, and transform your emotions. In moments of pressure, the world often feels diminished. Within the realm of comfort, it has the potential to grow. Within groups, thoughts may wander into uncharted territories, leading to unexpected insights. Even in solitude, the mind has the power to shield you, influence you, and guide you, all while convincing you that the thoughts were entirely your own. If these gentle journeys resonate with you, consider liking, subscribing, or sharing your thoughts below. It guides others to discover their path here as well, one drowsy spirit at a time. For the moment, the only thing required of you is to unwind. As the body relaxes and the eyes become heavy, the day gently slips into the background, inviting a journey through the marvels of the mind. Let us commence. Your mood subtly influences your perceptions, shaping what captures your attention and what fades into the background. The mood acts as a lens filter, altering the perception of the scene before us. It not only colors your emotions, but also alters what your mind considers significant. In moments of despair, one's focus often drifts toward perceived deficiencies, injustices, or dangers, while the ordinary details recede into obscurity. When one is in high spirits, they tend to seek out opportunities, connections, and possibilities, while the rough edges begin to fade away. This unfolds swiftly, frequently, before a single conscious thought can take shape. It has the power to influence your understanding of a text message, the way you perceive a stranger's expression, and how you recall a conversation in the future. Two individuals may traverse the same day, yet emerge with entirely distinct impressions of its essence. Psychology does not declare your feelings to be incorrect. Rather, it illustrates how emotions guide perception, much like a hand guiding a steering wheel. Individuals may hold intense emotions regarding specific recollections that never actually took place. Confidence is truly more like a warm feeling inside, rather than solid, undeniable proof of anything. A phantom past moments can emerge with the same warmth, detail, and emotional impact as a genuine one. As the brain, your mind tenderly weaves together, both using comparable mechanisms. Provide a few credible hints, a tale of family, a well-known backdrop, and the imagination might fill in the gaps. In time, the individual may recall garments, phrases, and even scents that never existed. This is not deceitful. The imagination performs its role with such excellence that it becomes mistakenly categorized as history. Researchers have demonstrated the ease with which individuals can embrace memories influenced by authority, repetition, or social pressure, and how swiftly those memories can become vivid. The surprising aspect lies in the sense of normalcy it evokes from within. Certainty may merely indicate that a narrative aligns, rather than confirming its occurrence. Your mind, always searching so gently for peace, quietly weaves tender stories to help make sense of everything that feels unclear. A void in comprehension can resemble a nagging sensation that demands attention. When an unexpected event occurs, the mind instinctively seeks an explanation, and in the absence of the true reason, it frequently fabricates one that provides a sense of closure. This illustrates how individuals can articulate seamless justifications for decisions they scarcely contemplated or describe routines they adopted without awareness. In specific neurological cases, this takes on a dramatic form, Some patients articulate actions that stem from brain processes beyond their reach, and their explanations still resonate as entirely plausible. The mind is designed to propel the narrative forward, as a dynamic tale facilitates swift choices. The risk lies in the fact that a fabricated rationale can solidify into conviction. Once clarity emerges, it begins to influence subsequent decisions, even if it was merely a temporary solution to ambiguity. That soft, gentle beam of your attention can quietly miss so many little beautiful details without you ever noticing. The senses absorb an abundance of information, far exceeding what the mind can consciously grasp. Focus addresses this by selecting a specific segment and transforming it into your perceived reality. It appears as though everything is within view, yet what truly captures attention is merely what the spotlight illuminates. Such is the way an unforeseen occurrence can unfold before one's eyes, yet go unnoticed, particularly when attention is directed elsewhere. For a moment, the scene, left unattended, is perceived by the mind as mere background noise. Later, when questioned about the events, it provides a self-assured response, as silence can be unsettling. This should not be seen as a personal shortcoming. It is the realm of design commerce. A broad light would engulf you. A focused approach ensures your effectiveness. The price to pay is that what is clear may fade into obscurity, as though it never occurred in the first place. The way one perceives pain can shift dramatically, even in the absence of medication. Pain does not serve as a straightforward indicator of injury. The nervous system makes a protective decision, drawing on signals from the body and expectations from the brain. When one holds a belief in the potential for relief, the mind possesses the remarkable ability to diminish pain signals through intricate chemical mechanisms that reduce perceived danger and enhance feelings of security. That is why the same injury may evoke varied feelings, depending on the context. An athlete might continue to push forward until the final whistle, only to then experience the overwhelming weight of their efforts. A comforting clarification from a healthcare professional can alleviate distress, whereas a distressing one can exacerbate symptoms. This does not involve escaping from pain. It is biology reacting to significance. The mind perpetually inquires about the level of danger present. Faith constitutes a component of the proof it employs. In an appropriate environment, assurance, reliance, and consistency can truly diminish the intensity of suffering. Your mind softly reaches forward with such care, gently preparing for what's just ahead, and then lovingly calling it what you see. Perception unfolds as a delicate interplay between the signals that arrive and the expectations that have been formed beforehand. The mind perpetually anticipates what it is on the verge of experiencing through sight, sound, and sensation. Subsequently, it compares the forecast with the data. When the match is favorable, the experience unfolds with ease. When the match is off, a sense of surprise unfolds. This predictive style elucidates how even noisy speech can maintain clarity, and how a familiar face can be identified in a blurred image. It further elucidates illusions, where anticipation prevails in the discourse. Your senses do not provide assurance. Hints are delivered by them. The brain transforms those cues into a practical representation of reality, as indecision can lead to significant consequences. In most instances, it operates exceptionally well. It provides a sense of stability, enhances speed, and imbues life with meaning. The peculiar aspect is that one encounters the ultimate model rather than the iterative process of conjecture that led to its creation. One might sense the weight of unseen eyes, even in solitude. The awareness of being watched is intricately linked to the instinct for survival. For social creatures, the gaze of others can signify peril, scrutiny, or a chance, prompting the brain to prioritize it highly. It observes eye direction, posture, and subtle cues that may indicate interest. In unpredictable environments, that scanner may become excessively alert. A creak behind, a fleeting shadow at the edge of sight, a whisper barely caught, and suddenly your body is on high alert, reacting instinctively before your mind can grasp the reason. The emotion resonates deeply, regardless of its origin. It is a system that prioritizes safety, even at the expense of precision. This phenomenon can also be observed in bustling environments, where you might unexpectedly glance up and find someone gazing at you as your mind scans the surroundings for signs of interest. The social mind is finely attuned to perceive eyes, occasionally sensing them in the void of empty space. Individuals rationalize their decisions only after they have been made, not prior to them. Frequently, the choice is made initially, followed by the rationale that comes later. The mind processes patterns, emotions, and habits with remarkable speed. Then the conscious mind receives an outcome that appears to be a purposeful decision. Subsequently, a narrative is crafted that renders the decision appear rational and in harmony with one's identity. This explains how individuals can justify a choice made in an instant and why they often grow more fond of what they have already selected. Experiments have demonstrated that when individuals are gently guided to think they made a choice they actually did not, many will confidently rationalize that decision. The narrator within captivates the imagination. It safeguards dignity and maintains the coherence of life. The challenge lies in the fact that the narrative can obscure the true influences behind the decision, complicating the process of gaining insights from it. Understanding this doesn't eliminate the impact, but it provides you with a guiding light. The mind continuously reshapes reality, often without your awareness. Between one's eyes and the world, there exists a swift, unseen editing room. Their gaze flits from one moment to the next, as their mind weaves those glimpses into a seamless narrative. It addresses your blind spot, refines motion, and stabilizes the world even as your eyes shift. That is why a room exudes a sense of stability, despite the visual input being riddled with gaps. This also implies that significant changes can go unnoticed when your focus is directed elsewhere. A sign may change, a person might disappear, an entire object could shift, yet your experience remains uninterrupted. Your mind always chooses the soft, flowing story, even when the tiny details aren't perfect, because smooth comfort feels so much safer. Your mind always chooses the soft, flowing story, even when the tiny details aren't perfect, because smooth comfort feels so much safer. Your perception is not merely unedited material. It is a well-crafted assumption that comes ready for action, allowing you to proceed without feeling inundated. Memory does not serve as a mere replay. Each time, it undergoes a process of reconstruction. When one remembers, one is not merely pressing play on a stored video. The scene is being reconstructed from fragmented elements, akin to a stage crew piecing together a set in the shadows. The mind gathers bits of sound, visuals, and significance, subsequently completing the gaps with what typically resonates. The process of rebuilding holds significant value. It allows for the extraction of lessons and aids in refreshing old narratives with newfound insights. It carries a certain level of risk. With each return of the memory, it momentarily shifts, only to be re-enshrined in its altered state. A conversation that followed, a photograph you encountered, or even a solitary, assertive suggestion can weave into the reimagining. As time passes, the memory may subtly shift, often without your awareness of its gradual change. It continues to evoke the same essence, yet it presents itself in a refreshed form. Emotions are felt within the body long before they can be articulated. The heart rate shifts, breathing changes, and muscles tighten or loosen, with the mind determining the name of the feeling only afterward. Emotion originates from the data of the body. The brain continuously interprets signals emanating from the gut, the chest, the skin, and the face. It then endeavors to understand them within their context. Thus, the identical physical sensations may transform into excitement prior to a first date, or dread before a challenging conversation. The body communicates through feelings, not definitions. The label emerges as the mind aligns the pattern with a narrative. This explains the sense of unease that can arise without a clear reason, and how identifying an emotion can provide a sense of comfort. Once a name is assigned to the brain, it gains the ability to select a response. Prior to that moment, it is merely the weather passing through you. Scents have the power to revive lost memories more swiftly than images ever could. A fragrance can transport one back in time with astonishing swiftness. With a single breath, one finds themselves transported to a childhood kitchen or a long-forgotten corridor, evoking memories that have lain dormant for years. The sense of smell possesses a unique pathway into the brain. It intertwines closely with areas associated with emotion and memory, capable of evoking entire scenes without the necessity of words. An image frequently encourages examination. One observes, interprets, and delves into the depths of thought. A scent bypasses that procedure. It places the memory in your lap, infused with emotion. That is why certain perfumes embody a person, and why the scent of rain on pavement can evoke an entire season. It further elucidates the reasons behind the comforting nature of scent, as well as its potential to cause distress. The brain retains scents as distinct markers of experiences, and when those markers resurface, the experiences can be relived alongside them. Individuals place their faith in assertive orators, even in instances of error. Confidence resonates with the essence of knowledge, and the mind frequently perceives it as such. A voice that flows effortlessly, a narrative that resonates clearly, and a speaker who exudes confidence can establish credibility even before any assertions are verified. The effect intensifies when observed within groups. Individuals often regard confidence as a quick means to determine whom to follow, particularly when the subject matter is intricate or the stakes appear high. The issue lies in the fact that confidence can stem from various sources beyond mere accuracy. Skill, reputation, allure, and a touch of audacity can convey similar messages. In the midst of it all, a thoughtful individual might take a moment to consider, clarify, and ponder. Yet such tendencies can often be misinterpreted as frailty. This bias influences the dynamics of workplaces, the realm of politics, and the flow of everyday conversations. This is one reason why misinformation circulates with such ease. The mind seeks a guide who exudes confidence, often opting for certainty in place of truth. A solitary negative encounter carries more significance than numerous positive ones. Your mind perceives danger as a prominent headline, while security fades into the background like soft music. A single harsh remark can echo in your mind for days, whereas a multitude of kind words may vanish swiftly. This isn't due to a lack of gratitude, but rather because the mind is wired to swiftly absorb lessons from perceived threats. When a hot stove burns you once, the memory of that experience holds significance. This adverse perception manifests in connections, professional life, and personal self-esteem. An isolated, clumsy incident can transform into a pivotal narrative, whereas a lifetime of skill may seem mundane. Even during joyful moments, the mind remains vigilant, always searching for potential threats, as the urgency of averting danger outweighs the pursuit of enjoyment. The twist reveals how this bias can alter one's perception of reality. One might perceive a location as unwelcoming due to a single harsh experience, or feel as though they are struggling because of a particularly challenging day. Identifying the bias allows for an opportunity to adjust the perspective methodically and with intention. One can acquire fears without having to face danger firsthand. Fear spreads among individuals in a manner that aligns with evolutionary logic. One can learn to maintain a safe distance from a snake without ever needing to touch it, just as one can develop a sense of nervousness in a car without having to experience a crash. Observing another's flinch, listening to a tale recounted with fear, or being raised in an environment filled with anxious responses can instruct your nervous system on what to steer clear of. The brain perceives social information as a form of evidence. When those in your vicinity respond as though there is a threat, your body may start to prepare for that perceived danger as well. As time passes, the fear transforms into a routine, and the initial cause may fade from memory. This illustrates how phobias may emerge without an obvious origin, and how fears can proliferate among groups. This is also the reason calm can permeate. As a trusted individual navigates a situation without harm, the mind gathers this experience as further proof of safety. Knowledge flows in a reciprocal manner. With an abundance of choices, satisfaction often diminishes. While choice may appear to embody freedom, an abundance of options can transform that freedom into a source of pressure. When faced with 10 paths, one can choose a direction and continue forward. In the presence of 100, the mind begins to wander, envisioning all the paths not taken. One draws comparisons. You hesitate. As one continues to search for a more advantageous option, that ongoing search imbues the current selection with a sense of impermanence. Subsequently, a sense of dissatisfaction arises, as one can effortlessly envision an alternative ending that could have been flawless. This illustrates how endless menus can complicate dinner, and how online shopping can evoke a peculiar sense of emptiness. The brain engages in more than mere selection. It involves navigating feelings of regret, safeguarding one's identity, and striving to evade blame. A greater array of choices expands the possibilities for error. At times, having fewer options does not confine one's possibilities. You are set free. They allowed the choice to transform into an entrance you step through, rather than a corridor you wander in. The mind perceives social rejection in a manner akin to experiencing physical pain. The pain of being excluded can resonate deeply, almost as if it were a physical wound. And this is not merely a figure of speech. The importance of social connection for survival throughout human history has led the brain to perceive rejection as a significant threat. When one experiences exclusion, mockery, or rejection can hurt your heart, just like a real wound. The body may respond with a constricted chest, an uneasy stomach, and a rush of stress hormones, as though under threat. This occurrence can transpire even when one is aware that it defies logic. The social brain does not engage in philosophical debates. It encompasses the themes of safety, rejection, and an enhanced memory. One might revisit a conversation, examining each line, in pursuit of the instant it took a turn for the worse, as the mind seeks resolution. In the most intense situations, individuals may alter their beliefs, conceal their desires, or tolerate injustice, to steer clear of experiencing that anguish once more. Belonging is an essential need. For the mind, it serves as a refuge. Your desire for resolution is so intense that you find yourself settling for uncertain responses. Uncertainty brings discomfort, as it keeps the mind in a state of vigilance. In moments of uncertainty, when the meaning of something eludes you, the mind remains restless, unable to settle its expectations. The lingering tension explains why individuals often jump to conclusions in the midst of perplexing situations. A coherent narrative, despite its imperfections, can evoke a sense of comfort. This manifests in daily experiences. A pause was misinterpreted as disapproval. One might think that a missed call signifies trouble ahead. One might conclude that another harbors negative feelings, for the alternative is the discomfort of uncertainty. In significant instances, a similar desire fuels rumors and conspiracy theories, where a compelling narrative can seem more gratifying than a complicated truth. Resolution transforms unease into assurance, and assurance brings a sense of mastery. The challenge lies in the fact that an early response can hinder the process of learning. When the mind finds its calm, the quest for answers ceases. A beneficial approach is to keep a question lingering a bit longer than what feels comfortable. In that additional space, one can often find the essence of precision. One might observe patterns, even amidst sheer randomness. The brain functions as a mechanism for recognizing patterns. It was designed to discern meaning in clouds, footprints, and subtle shifts in behavior, for overlooking a genuine pattern could prove to be expensive. The consequence is that one may perceive order in the absence of it. One might observe patterns emerging in the outcomes of coin flips. A sign is felt in a coincidence. One can perceive a purpose, woven through a series of occurrences that seem to align perfectly. This inclination can imbue the world with a sense of enchantment, yet it can equally lead to deception. It is a fundamental aspect that casinos depend on. Superstitions, lucky rituals, and the sense of being able to foresee what lies ahead after a series of wins or losses also take on a deeper significance. The mind craves a narrative structure, and when randomness fails to deliver, the brain steps in to create one. Pattern seeking is not a sign of foolishness. It serves as a formidable instrument when placed in an unsuitable setting. The ability lies in discerning when to have faith in the pattern and when to challenge it. Endings linger in memory far more vividly than beginnings. Once an experience concludes, the mind does not catalogue it in a linear fashion. It condenses the narrative into a brief overview, where the concluding moments carry significant importance within that overview. That is why a film can be compelling for 2 hours, only to feel diminished by an unsatisfactory conclusion. The final day can transform a trip into a cherished memory or a regrettable experience. The conclusion serves as a hallmark, allowing the mind to label the entire experience. This aids in understanding, as the results frequently hold significant importance for subsequent choices. If the final morsel left you feeling unwell, you steer clear of that dish. When the final moment exuded a sense of safety, one finds their way back. The twist reveals how this can skew one's perception. One might linger in a situation that is largely unfavorable due to occasional positive outcomes, or overlook something worthwhile simply because it concluded in an uncomfortable manner. Being mindful of this bias can alter the way you design experiences and the way you reflect on them later. Subtle facial expressions can unveil emotions that individuals attempt to conceal. Your expression is perpetually revealing, even in moments of apparent calm. In tense moments, emotions can flicker across the muscles surrounding the eyes, mouth, and brow for just an instant, only to disappear as the social expression reasserts itself. Micro-expressions may emerge when an individual experiences surprise, disgust, amusement, or fear, often surfacing before there is an opportunity to control them. This sensation might have resonated with you, even if you couldn't put a name to it. A smile that comes just a moment too late may seem out of place. A subtle shift in the lips can transform the entire significance of a statement. The intriguing aspect lies in the fact that these signals are interpreted instinctively. The mind is adept at observing subtle shifts, as these nuances aid in anticipating the actions of others. Even when the words flow effortlessly, the expression can reveal the storm brewing beneath. One might mishear words distinctly, yet remain unwavering in their conviction. Your mind does not pause for the ideal sound. It captures everything that comes to your ears, blends it with context, and presents a statement that seems self-evident. That is why one can hear their name in the noise, or catch a phrase in a muffled announcement, and feel confident they understood it correctly. At times, the mind may misjudge, yet that misjudgment comes with a sense of assurance, as it is designed to be functional rather than uncertain. This illustrates the phenomenon of mondegreens, where certain lyrics transform into entirely different phrases, and individuals uphold the misheard versions for years on end. Misunderstandings in conversation often carry a weight that feels deeply personal. The audio you are receiving is not in its original form. The interpretation you are receiving is influenced by your expectations, the nuances of accent and stress, and your preconceived notions of what was about to unfold. Certainty may weave itself into the fabric of illusion, and within that illusion, clarity can resonate with striking precision. Even amidst the clamor of a bustling room, your name resonates, drawing your focus with undeniable clarity. Amidst the lively chatter, the clinking of glasses, and the overlapping voices, a single sound emerges, piercing through the noise like a beam of light. your name. Even when one is not actively listening, the mind continuously scans the surroundings for signals of significance. A name holds immense power. It may signify that you are required, commended, cautioned, or evaluated, prompting your attention system to regard it as pressing. This phenomenon, often referred to as the "your name cuts through noise," unveils a significant insight. Focus is not solely a matter of personal choice. It is also influenced by the decisions made by your brain. The remarkable aspect is that the surrounding noise continued to permeate your ears throughout the entire experience. It simply remained unnoticed. Then the name emerges, and the gate swings wide. In that moment, it became clear that there was more to the sounds than initially perceived. Individuals unconsciously mirror the feelings of those around them. Enter a room filled with tension, and your body may instinctively align with the atmosphere before a single word is exchanged. Human beings are inherently designed for the spread of emotions. The act of mirroring faces, posture, tone, and timing creates a feedback loop that enhances the emotional experience. A smile has the power to elevate one's spirit. A monotonous tone can weigh heavily on your spirit. A sudden eruption of laughter can ripple through a crowd of strangers, igniting a connection like a spark catching in parched grass. This replication is genuine. This tool serves a social purpose, aiding groups in their coordination, fostering trust, and ensuring safety. When everyone appears startled, the potential consequences of overlooking the situation may be significant, prompting your nervous system to interpret the reactions of others as proof. It also illustrates how a single composed individual can bring balance to a group, and how quickly tensions can rise when frustration is exchanged among members. Emotions flow freely between individuals, connecting them in profound ways. They traverse through different forms. The mind expends energy to evade exertion, even when faced with straightforward tasks. Your mind acts as a steward of energy. The brain, in its quest for efficiency, seeks out shortcuts, as thinking, planning, and self-control deplete its resources. This is the reason one might postpone sending a message that requires just 30 seconds, or hesitate to begin a task they are already familiar with. It is not a moral failing of laziness. A system emerged that had learned the art of resource conservation. Habits are among its most cunning strategies. Once a routine becomes second nature, it flows effortlessly, akin to a familiar trail. The trouble begins when the mind categorizes something as work, even before it has commenced. Then, one encounters resistance, and that resistance emerges as a clear signal to halt. A clever approach is to begin with a small step, as this allows the mind to ease into action once movement begins. The peculiar reality is that the struggle frequently intensifies just before it vanishes entirely. People often have a tendency to believe that others pay more attention to them than they actually do. Picture entering a room, a small stain adorning your shirt. It seems as though all attention is drawn to it, as if the error resonates with a deafening clarity. Often, it goes unnoticed by many. They find themselves preoccupied with their individual concerns, their own image, and the thoughts that swirl within them. This phenomenon, known as the everyone watching you, occurs as you find yourself at the heart of your own experiences. Your mind perceives your actions as the central narrative, leading it to believe that others are observing in the same manner you do. They are not present. They gaze outward from their individual perspectives. This bias can render social life more unforgiving than it truly is. It may hold you back from expressing yourself, choosing your attire freely, or embracing minor challenges. The sense of relief becomes palpable once it is fully understood. The majority of individuals are not forming judgments about you. They envision you within the confines of their own thoughts. The initial figure presented can influence your ultimate assessment. Numbers cling to the mind, despite the understanding that they ought not to. When a high price is introduced initially, the subsequent price may seem more acceptable in contrast. When a low number is presented, it can cast a shadow over everything that follows, making it seem costly regardless of its actual fairness. This is anchoring, and it is effective due to the brain's requirement for a starting point. Once the anchor is set, the mind begins to shift focus. Yet this shift often falls short of what is needed. The anchor may seem ridiculous, yet it still has the power to draw you in. Individuals have been influenced by arbitrary figures they encountered moments before, causing their subsequent estimates to gravitate towards that number regardless. In reality, anchors appear in negotiations, salaries, online reviews, and even in the way we assess our own performance. The initial figure serves as the foundation, and such foundations hold significant power. One of the most effective strategies is to select your own anchor before another person offers you theirs. Familiar ideas often hold more sway over our trust than those that are merely accurate. A claim may resonate as true merely because it seems familiar. As an idea is encountered time and again, the mind begins to process it with greater fluidity, and this ease may lead one to mistakenly perceive it as accurate. This is the reason slogans are effective. This is the reason myths endure. A lie can gather momentum when it is delivered with assurance and a steady cadence. Familiarity may not serve as evidence, yet it carries the weight of conviction as the mind associates comfort with security. New information may evoke a sense of skepticism, as it often requires considerable effort to fully comprehend. The disconcerting aspect is that this phenomenon can still take hold, regardless of one's intelligence, caution, and knowledge. This reflects a fundamental aspect of the mind's efficiency in conserving energy. The remedy lies not in casting doubt upon all that is known. One should take note of the sense of comfort and subsequently seek a further indication, proof, references, and outcomes. Being familiar should encourage one to explore further, rather than serve as a justification to cease inquiry. Individuals often adjust their beliefs to align with the collective mindset of the group they become a part of. The concept of belonging possesses a remarkable ability to transform one's beliefs. Upon entering a new group, one swiftly absorbs its language, humor, heroes, and taboos, often more quickly than one might expect. Consent conveys a sense of security. To disagree invites the possibility of tension, or perhaps even banishment. Thus, the mind begins to seek justifications for the group's correctness. As time passes, what initially starts as social alignment can evolve into true conviction. For the mind has a tendency to favor consistency. When a group of friends aligns on a particular opinion, the mind interprets this consensus as validation, perceiving the viewpoint as typical, intelligent, and ethically sound. This phenomenon can occur in various settings, including workplaces, fandoms, families, and the realm of politics. It isn't always negative. Collectives have the power to inspire individuals towards compassion, bravery, and personal development. The risk lies in the fact that groups can lead individuals to adopt extreme views as consensus transforms into a symbol of allegiance. A beneficial practice involves maintaining a degree of detachment from any identity and pondering, would I hold this belief on my own? Social media thrives on outrage, as our minds are drawn to intense emotions. Outrage serves as a powerful and dynamic signal. It captivates the audience. It distills the complexities of existence into clear-cut heroes and villains, igniting a compelling desire to take action. Platforms observe the elements that captivate audiences, and it is the depth of emotion that truly holds their attention. Thus, the system subtly enhances posts that elicit anger, fear, and disgust, as these emotions fuel clicks, comments, and shares. The brain is designed to perceive threats as immediate, causing it to focus intently, even when the danger is merely a headline displayed on a screen. As time passes, the feed has the potential to shape your understanding, revealing which emotions are met with social approval. The price to pay is that indignation constricts one's perspective. It renders nuance as a form of vulnerability. It reveals the presence of adversaries clearly. One begins to blur the lines between emotional intensity and significance. An effective strategy is to manage your attention as if it were a budget. Inquire about the intentions behind your feed and decide the type of mindset you wish to inhabit. The mind compensates for gaps with imagined intricacies. At this moment, a gap exists in your perception, and you navigate through your entire existence unaware of it. Every eye possesses a blind spot where the optic nerve departs from the retina, resulting in an absence of photoreceptors in that area. Should the world be presented to you in its unrefined state, you would perceive a void at every turn. Rather, the mind. Your mind so lovingly fills in every little missing piece, gently bridging the quiet spaces with its own beautiful imagination. The void, by utilizing the colors, textures, and lines that are nearby, it draws inspiration from its surroundings and crafts an effortless assumption. The repair job is executed with such skill that it goes unnoticed as it unfolds. It transcends mere visual deception. It serves as an insight into the very nature of deception. Your experience consists of both data and creation. When the brain struggles to retrieve information, it does not result in emptiness. It provides a narrative that aligns with the setting, as gaps could pose risks in a rapidly changing environment. Eyewitness testimony may exude a strong sense of certainty, but it can also be profoundly inaccurate. A witness may present themselves with an air of calmness, providing intricate details and exuding unwavering confidence, yet they can still be incorrect in their observations. During times of stress, focus becomes limited, and later recollections reconstruct the experience from bits and pieces. Minor elements may change, yet the essence of the narrative remains intact. The interplay of lighting, distance, and the speed of an event can distort the way information is captured. In time, inquiries can influence memory. A phrase such as, "the broken headlight," can subtly introduce a detail that the witness subsequently starts to recall as genuine. The lineups introduce an additional layer of pressure. Individuals frequently select the visage that resonates with them the most, particularly when they feel compelled to make a choice. The unsettling aspect lies in the fact that confidence may grow through repeated experiences. Every retelling reinterprets the narrative rather than revealing the reality. This is the reason the legal system approaches eyewitness evidence with caution, highlighting the importance of proper procedures. The human mind possesses a remarkable ability to persuade, even when it comes to its own thoughts. The way one carries themselves can impact the sense of power they experience. Transform your physical form, and your mindset frequently adapts in response. As one stands tall, lifts their gaze, and opens their chest, a stream of signals is sent back to the brain, conveying a sense of readiness and status. As one folds inward, the brain interprets a distinct message. It conveys a sense of safeguarding, carefulness, and limited area. This does not imply that adopting a different posture will transform you into someone entirely new. It signifies an ongoing dialogue between the body and the mind. Consider the way you position yourself while engaged in a challenging conversation. The shoulders lift, the jaw clenches, and the voice may diminish. Now envision re-establishing your position prior to expressing your thoughts. With feet firmly planted, the spine extends and the breath flows deep. The expressions frequently emerge in unexpected ways. It is observed by others as well. The way one holds themselves influences their voice, appearance, and perception of their own abilities. It serves as a straightforward mechanism capable of transforming the entirety of a moment's experience. One's expectations have the power to enhance performance, even in the absence of additional practice. At times, the distinction between faltering and moving smoothly lies in the anticipation of what is to come. When one holds a belief in their potential for success, the mind reallocates its resources in a distinct manner. Focus sharpens, distractions diminish, and your body is more inclined to perceive arousal as preparedness rather than threat. Coaches utilize this approach to reframe nerves as a source of energy. Educators employ it to convey their confidence in a student's potential. Even the internal dialogue you engage in can influence the words that escape your lips during a moment of intense pressure. Anticipation is shaped by societal influences. When individuals are regarded as capable, they tend to embrace greater risks, offer support for extended periods, and bounce back more swiftly from errors. This effect is grounded in reality. The brain reacts to a prediction. The mind readies itself for the future it foresees. Should the prediction prove accurate, your system may achieve greater coordination. When the outlook suggests failure, it may lead to a sense of caution and fragmentation. People often underestimate the duration of their emotions. A breakup may seem as though its reverberations will last an eternity. A wing can seem to promise a sense of buoyancy that lasts for ages. As time moves forward, the emotional landscape shifts more rapidly than one might have anticipated. This represents a frequent mistake in forecasting. As one envisions the future, attention often drifts to the event at hand, overshadowing the myriad of everyday moments that will unfold in its wake. One might overlook the remarkable adaptability that resides within oneself. The mind adjusts itself anew. It adapts to the new normal. That ability is a precious endowment, yet it complicates the act of forecasting. Individuals often misjudge the duration of anger's intensity, the lingering heat of embarrassment, and the lasting clarity of joy. This holds significance for choices. A healthy risk may be overlooked due to an exaggerated anticipation of future regret. One may pursue a purchase due to an inflated belief in the happiness it will bring in the future. A question that serves a purpose is straightforward. How did one feel after the last time something like this happened? While memory may falter, it frequently serves as a more reliable compass than the flights of imagination. Stress has the potential to enhance memory, yet it can also wipe it away entirely. During a crisis, moments can stretch endlessly, and specific details can emerge with striking clarity. A solitary sound, a hue, a phrase. Moments marked by stress hormones are recognized as significant, leading the brain to prioritize their storage. That is one perspective of the narrative. The other side is blankness. Under extreme stress, attention can tunnel so tightly that large parts of an event never get encoded. Later, you may remember a flash, but not the sequence. You may recall fear, but not faces. Stress can also distort order. The mind might stitch together fragments into something that feels continuous, even when it is not. This outcome illustrates how two individuals can experience the same emergency, yet recall it in vastly different ways. The memory system is not designed for courtroom precision. It is designed for survival learning. Sometimes that means recording a warning label in bright ink. Sometimes it means dropping everything else on the floor so you can act. People confess to things they did not do. It seems impossible until you picture the situation. Endless hours of inquiry, sleep deprivation, the promise that confession will make it stop, the fear that resistance will make it worse. Under those conditions, the mind starts searching for escape, not truth. Some people confess to end the ordeal. Others begin to doubt their own memory, especially when investigators present false evidence or insist they know what happened. Over time, a person can start building a narrative that explains why they must be guilty. That narrative can feel real because the brain prefers a coherent story over unresolved chaos. Youth, anxiety, and suggestibility can increase the risk. So can authority pressure. This is why modern justice systems emphasize recording interviews using better safeguards and avoiding coercive tactics. A confession feels like the ultimate proof, but psychology shows it can be manufactured. The human mind can be pushed into agreement, even against itself. The mind protects self-esteem by rewriting personal history. Most people carry an inner autobiography, and it is less like a vault and more like a living document. When your self-image changes, the past often gets edited to match. You remember your old choices as more sensible than they were. You reinterpret mistakes as lessons you always understood. You soften memories that clash with the person you want to be. This is not always dishonest. It can be stabilizing. A coherent self-story helps you function. It helps you trust your own intentions. But it also means you can become blind to patterns you need to change, because the mind retroactively paints them as reasonable. You might say you always knew a relationship would fail when you did not. You might recall being fearless when you were terrified. The benefit is continuity. The cost is accuracy. A helpful practice is to treat your self-story as a draft. It can guide you, but it should still be questioned. You can feel a phantom phone vibration that never happened. You reach for your pocket, and there is nothing there. No buzz, no notification. Yet the sensation felt unmistakable. This experience is common, and it reveals how the brain handles expectation. Your body learns patterns. The phone often vibrates against your skin. You often check it during certain emotions, like boredom or anticipation. Over time, the brain becomes primed to detect that signal, and it starts interpreting ambiguous sensations as a vibration, a muscle twitch, fabric shifting, a pulse in the leg. The mind would rather miss nothing than miss a message, so it makes a fast call. Technology did not create this tendency. It gave the tendency a new target. The underlying message suggests that perception functions as a hypothesis. The brain perpetually interprets sensations, presenting their meanings as though they were the sensations themselves. Once this realization dawns, the phantom buzz transforms from something eerie into a glimpse into the unseen. One can find themselves forming emotional bonds with individuals they have never encountered in person. A voice in the headphones begins to take on the essence of a companion. A creator observed each evening can evoke a sense of familiarity, even closeness. This represents a parasocial connection, fueled by the same social mechanisms that govern interactions with actual individuals. The brain identifies faces, follows voices, and your mind tenderly weaves together representations of personalities. The model is fortified through repetition. One learns their habits, their humor, their tells. One starts to anticipate their words. The bond may provide a sense of comfort, potentially alleviating feelings of loneliness as the nervous system reacts to the sense of connection. The distinction lies in the fact that the relationship is unreciprocated. The stranger remains unaware of your existence, leaving the familiar exchanges of genuine friendship absent. Such a situation can foster an illusion of intimacy, even in the absence of shared concern. It may also render criticism personal, akin to an assault on a dear companion. Grasping this connection allows for a more thoughtful appreciation. The emotion is genuine, despite the lack of mutuality in the relationship. The experience of romantic love stimulates the brain in a manner akin to addiction. In the early stages of love, it often seems less like a decision and more akin to being drawn in by an irresistible force. As attention sharpens, thoughts spiral, and the mundane transforms into something imbued with significance. The brain's reward circuits illuminate in the presence of the individual, and that reward comes with an undeniable intensity. It comes with longing, expectation, and a sense of release. The experience of separation may evoke a sense of withdrawal, where even the slightest signals, a message or a glance, carry significant weight. A collective melody can resonate like a powerful remedy. This illustrates how love can sometimes eclipse sound reasoning. The mind perceives the connection as a significant objective, driving you toward it with a sense of immediacy. It can also illuminate the reasons behind the intense pain of rejection and the lengths to which individuals will go in pursuit of closure, even at the expense of their own dignity. Love transcends mere poetry. It is the chemistry of motivation, directed towards another individual. It possesses a charm that is both captivating and exquisite. Acts of kindness elevate one's mood more consistently than mere pleasure can. Joy frequently surges, only to diminish later. Kindness has a way of enduring over time. When assistance is offered to another, the mind reaps benefits that extend beyond a mere instant gratification. It acquires significance, a sense of belonging, and the realization that you hold value in the world. This combination has the power to stabilize one's mood in a manner that seldom occurs with a sugary treat or a recent acquisition. Consider the lingering essence of kindness. Supporting a friend, offering genuine compliments, and being there in small moments. A seemingly insignificant moment, yet it transforms the narrative you construct about your identity. It also transforms your perspective on others. You begin to seek out chances to make a difference, rather than merely looking for ways to benefit yourself. This change can redirect focus from overthinking to a sense of purpose. In moments of stress, a simple act of kindness can carve out a space of control amidst the chaos. While not everything can be mended, there lies the potential to enhance a single moment for an individual, and your nervous system takes note of this change. Individuals hold greater appreciation for their own creations than for items they purchase. When one creates something with their own hands, it begins to take on a life of its own. A crooked bookshelf, a messy drawing, a meal crafted with care. Even when it may not be objectively superior, it can seem more valuable, as it embodies the effort you have invested in it. Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as the love what you create. Dedication transforms into a binding force. It conveys to the mind that this held significance, worthy of effort. That significance enhances worth. It has the ability to transform its identity. In the act of creation, one transforms into a maker, and the creation itself stands as evidence of that transformation. This explains the strong defense individuals have for their home projects and the profound impact that handmade gifts can possess. The act of creation transforms time into a tangible representation. It transcends mere objecthood. The narrative unfolds with themes of perseverance, ingenuity, and decision-making. Purchasing skips bypasses the narrative, resulting in a more superficial connection. Your desire for justice is so intense that you are willing to impose consequences on those who deceive, even if it comes at a personal expense. Fairness transcends mere politeness. It is a fundamental necessity. It may seem like an unchanging principle of existence. When a rule is broken, numerous individuals will invest their time, resources, or reputation to restore its visibility. In experiments, individuals turn down unjust offers, even at the cost of leaving empty-handed, as accepting such a deal seems to validate the wrongdoing. The response is instinctive, swift, and physical. As anger swells, the mind begins to weigh the potential outcomes. This instinct probably contributed to the survival of groups. If deceit proliferates, collaboration disintegrates. The consequences indicate that this behavior poses a significant risk in this context. A captivating aspect is that it does not solely revolve around individual benefit. Individuals will impose consequences on those who deceive and cause harm to others, even if they are unfamiliar, as the mind perceives social norms as a collective framework. We exist not merely in the company of others. Human existence unfolds within intricate systems. When fairness falters, it endangers the entire system, igniting a powerful desire to restore it. Simple narratives hold a special appeal, even amidst the complexities of reality. The narrative captivates with its youthful intrigue, a distinctly defined antagonist, one singular reason. A tidy conclusion emerges at the end. The intricacies of complexity seem elusive, requiring significant effort, prompting the mind to condense it into a more digestible form. This compression proves to be beneficial in everyday situations. It aids in making swift decisions. It aids in your ability to convey messages. It aids in instructing children about the dangers of the stove. Yet, in the chaotic realm of adulthood, straightforward narratives can transform into entanglements. They eliminate various reasons, intertwined intentions, and gradual processes that unfold over time. One begins to think that a single element accounts for all, leading to a cessation of exploration. In times of crisis, individuals often find themselves holding tightly to slogans. That is the reason gossip travels more swiftly than subtlety. A straightforward tale weaves its way effortlessly through a community, bringing a sense of fulfillment to those who hear it. The challenge lies in discerning when simplicity serves as a valuable tool and when it acts as a blindfold, obscuring deeper understanding. Effective thinking frequently starts when one can embrace a narrative that remains unresolved. The mind perceives losses with greater urgency than it does gains. She lost 20 pounds, and perhaps she would celebrate. Shedding 20 pounds of weight can lead to a more toned physique, as though peril had come forth. The experience of loss resonates with a unique urgency. It captures interest, sharpens perspective, and compels you to take action. In the wild, the loss of resources poses a significant risk to survival. The outcome reveals a tendency. Individuals exert more effort to prevent the loss of something than they do to acquire the same item. They cling to poor investments, as parting with them would render the loss undeniable. They remain in relationships that are diminishing, as ending them would acknowledge the loss that has occurred. Even time experiences this sensation. An hour squandered can hurt more than the joy of an hour given freely. This sense of urgency influences marketing strategies, drives fear-based headlines, and impacts our negotiation tactics. It has the potential to influence one's internal dialogue. A solitary error can overshadow a multitude of silent triumphs. Understanding this bias does not eliminate it. Yet, it presents an opportunity to pause and reflect. Is this loss genuinely pressing, or does it merely seem that way? Individuals may experience guilt for their thoughts, yet not for their actions. Many individuals will torment themselves over an unwelcome thought, while dismissing a detrimental action as not particularly serious. This discrepancy stands out as one of the most peculiar aspects of moral psychology. Thoughts possess a sense of intimacy, seemingly unveiling the essence of one's true self. A dark or taboo idea can evoke feelings of shame, even if the individual would never consider acting on it. In the meantime, one might find that actions can be tempered through the use of excuses, diversion, and a carefully curated recollection of events. The mind perceives the inner life as a reflection of identity, which in turn carries a sense of sanctity. This explains why certain individuals admit to fabricated wrongdoings or look for comfort in the belief that merely having a thought signifies something dreadful. It is also why moral growth can be preserved. To punish oneself for thoughts that were not consciously selected is to squander precious energy. By justifying the choices you made, you evade accountability. A more beneficial perspective is to regard thoughts as if they were the changing weather. They move onward. It is through actions that the world is shaped. Ethics is most vividly expressed through actions, rather than fleeting thoughts that pass through your mind. Music has the power to evoke chills by activating the brain's reward system. A song swells, a note lands, and in that moment, the skin prickles with an unexpected sensation. A shiver may creep down the spine, a rush might fill the chest, or tears could come unexpectedly. These chills hold significance. They frequently emerge when the mind anticipates what lies ahead, only to be pleasantly surprised. A resolution unfolds in a manner that surprises all. A vocalist stretches a note, teetering on the brink of the ordinary. A beat falls into place at just the right time. The reward system reacts with a surge that is almost tangible. It seems the mind acknowledges the significance of this pattern. Chills can indeed manifest in a social context. Anthems, choirs, and live crowds elevate the experience, as the sense of belonging and the shared rhythm enrich the emotional landscape. Music consists of organized sound, yet the mind perceives it as something significant. It has the power to evoke feelings of bravery, nostalgia, or tranquility in an instant. Few things can connect with the nervous system so profoundly without uttering a single word. One feels a surge of confidence after vocalizing their agreement with themselves. When a belief is spoken aloud, it begins to take on a more tangible form, despite the fact that the external world remains unchanged. Articulating thoughts compels the mind to transform an indistinct emotion into a precise declaration. Once it is articulated, it resonates with a sense of proof. The ears perceive it, the body senses the dedication, and the mind acknowledges the unwavering nature. One reason affirmations can assist certain individuals is the same reason people often become more entrenched during disputes. Restating your stance can lend it a sense of authenticity, as it becomes more recognizable in your own expression. This effect proves beneficial when one is honing a skill, establishing boundaries, or recalling a decision previously made. Rehearsing a lie or holding on to an unexamined opinion can lead to perilous consequences. Selecting what to emphasize is crucial. The inner narrator possesses great strength. When provided with a microphone, it swiftly cultivates a sense of conviction. Gratitude has the power to shift focus onto the positive aspects of life. Gratitude does not involve feigning that all is well. It trains the mind to recognize support, progress, and stability in conjunction with challenges. Attention is finite. Thus, what you consistently seek shapes your perception of reality. When one focuses solely on dangers, the day transforms into a perilous landscape. As one begins to observe the factors that impede progress, the day takes on a richer quality, a functioning set of lungs. A friend who responded, "A meal that was delightful to the palate." A moment of clarity arrived unexpectedly. As time passes, this practice has the potential to alter what naturally captures attention. While it may not eliminate grief or stress, it alleviates the feeling that existence is solely defined by loss. Gratitude has the power to inspire greater generosity and resilience, as it serves as a reminder to the mind that it is not isolated. The mind continuously. Your mind tenderly weaves together a narrative of reality. Gratitude transforms the information that contributes to that summary. A seemingly minor habit has the power to transform the emotional landscape of one's life. Individuals often confuse what they know well with reality, despite the presence of persistent falsehoods. When a claim repeatedly surfaces, it begins to take on a sense of belonging. The mind perceives its form, its wording, its cadence. Such acknowledgement may be confused with dependability, even when one is aware that the origin is not credible. As time passes, the mind may forget the origins of an idea, retaining the substance. While rejection can hurt your heart, just like a real wounding the cautionary note. This explains how a rumor, even when disproven, can continue to circulate. The correction diminishes, yet the memorable phrase endures. Repeating a false claim in an attempt to counter it can lead to unintended consequences, as it increases the brain's familiarity with the statement. Familiarity emerges as an emotion, one that often takes hold before the mind has a chance to ponder. The ability lies in recognizing that sensation as a signal to pause, rather than an invitation to agree mindlessly. A message once forgotten can still hold the power to influence you. The mind has the capacity to take in an idea, yet it may not retain it as a memory that can be accessed at will. One might glance at a headline, overhear a phrase in passing, or notice a slogan playing softly in the background of a video, only to later realize they are inclined toward a particular viewpoint without understanding the reason behind it. The influence may manifest as a preference, a suspicion, or an unexpected feeling that something simply feels correct. This occurs as certain types of learning resemble tuning rather than mere recollection. The brain adjusts its expectations according to patterns, and these adjustments often occur without a narrative accompanying them. The moment fades from memory, yet the inclination remains. Repetitive exposure has the power to influence one's taste in music, shape attitudes toward various topics, and alter perceptions of trustworthiness in a face. That is also the reason persuasive messages seek to capture your attention during moments of low engagement. The most effective approach is to inquire, from where did this notion come to me? Particularly when the belief seems strangely effortless. The mind retains a stronger impression of tasks that remain incomplete compared to those that have been successfully concluded. Begin a task only to be interrupted, and that unfinished business continues to nudge at your awareness. An unfinished email, a lingering dispute, an incomplete puzzle. The mind clings to these open loops as they indicate unfinished objectives, and unfinished objectives can be crucial for survival. Completing a task enables the mind to neatly categorize it. Leaving it unfinished maintains its presence, akin to an alarm that remains unmuted. This illustrates the effectiveness of cliffhangers and explains why an errand might come to mind unexpectedly at midnight. It holds potential for greater significance. The persistent urging can hinder your progress towards completion. It can indeed be draining, particularly when the task feels insurmountable at this moment. A compelling strategy involves establishing a distinct subsequent action. Compose a concise statement outlining your next steps, allowing the mind to ease as it perceives a clear direction rather than an unresolved issue. A warm drink can lead to a perception of others as more inviting and friendly. Cradle a steaming mug for just a moment, and the nuances of social perceptions may transform in delicate ways. The sensation of physical warmth emerges as one of the initial indicators of safety in human existence. It is associated with the warmth of care, the comfort of being embraced, and the safety from the chill of the world. The profound connection allows the brain to take on the sensation of temperature and transfer it to an individual. When one experiences warmth, they may perceive others as friendlier, more trustworthy, or more approachable. This does not imply that warmth compels you to have affection for everyone. Your mind relies on physical signals as a backdrop when forming swift social judgments. The connection can also function in the opposite direction. The chill within the body can push feelings toward a sense of separation. The intriguing aspect lies in its remarkable sense of normalcy. One might think they are simply assessing another, but beneath the surface, their nervous system is subtly providing additional insights. It serves as a reminder that the fabric of your social world extends beyond mere words and appearances. It is constructed from feelings. The experience of hunger transforms one's perception of the world, casting it in a more menacing light. As the body craves nourishment, the mind transitions into a protective stance. Irritation escalates rapidly. Neutral expressions may appear less welcoming. Minor issues seem more pronounced. Hunger transcends mere physical sensation. This is an internal stressor that alters the mind's interpretation of the surrounding events. The body conveys a sense of low energy, presenting itself as a weakness. When one is vulnerable, the surroundings tend to become increasingly perilous. Thus, a bustling store may seem unfriendly when one has missed lunch, and an innocent remark can be perceived as an affront. The same effect can enhance impulsive decisions as the brain seeks the quickest route to comfort. This explains why having a fair argument becomes challenging when one individual is experiencing hunger. Their sense of danger is heightened. The solution is unexpectedly pragmatic. Nourishment, hydration, and patience can soften the intensity of life's challenges, transforming the world into a more manageable place. The absence of sleep amplifies emotions while dulling the voice of reason. A weary mind possesses diminished capacity for self-discipline and thoughtful understanding. Minor irritations resonate more deeply. The weight of sadness is palpable. Concern seizes the spotlight. Simultaneously, the mechanisms that assist in pausing, reframing, and selecting a thoughtful response become less accessible. That combination may lead one to feel irrational, while in truth, it signifies a shift in the balance of the brain. Sleep aids in the regulation of emotions, allowing the mind to distinguish between immediate feelings and long-term aspirations. In its absence, the brain resorts to quicker, more instinctive routes. This explains the tendency for individuals to send messages they come to regret, as well as the way conflicts can intensify during the late hours of the night. It is also the reason why challenges appear more enduring when one is fatigued. In the morning, after a good night's rest, the same issue may appear to be manageable. Rest alone cannot resolve your life's challenges. It alters the perspective from which it is viewed, and that perspective is significant. The experience of solitude alters the way one's mind interprets facial cues. In moments of solitude, the mind sharpens its awareness, seeking out indications of rejection, as such rejection would intensify the perceived threat. Such attentiveness can alter your interpretation of the expressions on others' faces. A neutral expression may be interpreted as a sign of disapproval. A moment of silence may come across as rejection. One begins to search for evidence of their unworthiness, yet the very act of searching may skew the outcome. This has the potential to create a cycle of feedback. The experience of loneliness amplifies the perception of social cues, rendering them more severe. In turn, these intensified signals lead to withdrawal, further deepening the sense of isolation. The tragedy lies in the fact that none of this necessitates cruelty from anyone. The mind seeks to shield you, yet sometimes that shield can falter. Grasping the loop is significant, as it transforms the inquiry from what is wrong with me to what actions my mind is taking in response to social stress. A beneficial approach is to pursue minor, low-stress interactions. A fleeting exchange of words, a voice that resonates with familiarity, and a momentary connection through shared glances. Small connections have the power to blur the edges. The mind relies on shortcuts, as it cannot process every detail. Each moment offers an abundance of information that your mind could never completely comprehend. Light, sound, movement, social cues, internal sensations, and memories all vie for attention simultaneously. In order to endure this, the brain depends on shortcuts, quick rules that typically function effectively. One might form an impression of a shape prior to a closer inspection. One assesses the mood from the tone prior to analyzing each word. Decisions are made from select indicators rather than the entire dataset. These shortcuts enable swift action, preventing you from becoming paralyzed by overwhelming tasks. They also produce consistent mistakes. A shortcut may confuse a shadow with a danger, or misinterpret a self-assured individual as a specialist. The intriguing aspect is that one frequently perceives the shortcut as mere common sense. It seems to embody an immediate understanding, rather than a choice made. Psychology reveals how to identify the shortcuts in various situations, prompting a decision on whether a more deliberate approach is warranted. Shortcuts cannot be eliminated, yet the choice to confront them lies in your hands. Assurance flourishes in the absence of verifiable information. In moments where verification is absent, confidence transforms into a tool for performance. Within a space filled with specialized knowledge or distant details, the most assertive voice often resonates as the most knowledgeable one. Confidence fosters a sense of authority, and individuals frequently align themselves with that sentiment when they have no means to verify assertions. This explains the allure of jargon, the wisdom that vague statements can convey, and the dramatic confidence with which certain predictions are made. The speaker perceives that the audience finds it difficult to contest their words, leading to a release of internal restraints. Similar occurrences can unfold within the confines of your own thoughts. Without the ability to examine your assumptions, you might find yourself feeling strangely confident in them. Confidence does not equate to proof. It frequently serves as a social indicator, and it can be created intentionally. A straightforward safeguard involves requesting details that can be verified. What could alter your perspective? What proof would resolve the matter? How one knows, and how one would know if they were mistaken. The kind of confidence that endures such inquiries is truly deserving of respect. Impressions are formed in the blink of an eye, before a single sentence is completed, the mind has already crafted a preliminary image of the individual before it. It observes posture, voice, facial tension, and timing. Then a swift forecast emerges, secure or perilous, warm or distant, capable or unsure. This phenomenon is known as thin slicing, and it can yield remarkably precise insights in certain contexts, particularly when the signals are genuine and the stakes are well known. It may also seem unjust. Attire, nuances, and variations in culture can evoke immediate conclusions that are unrelated to one's true nature. Once the impression is established, the brain begins to seek validation, filtering subsequent details through the initial perspective. That is why initial encounters hold significant importance, and why it becomes challenging to rebuild a connection with someone following a difficult introduction. The encouraging aspect is that initial perceptions can be revised, but this typically occurs when one intentionally takes the time to gather more information beyond the quick assessment made initially. One can acquire skills even while feeling as though no progress is being made. Enhancement may be concealed in obvious places, as the mind adjusts its benchmarks in response to personal growth. In the beginning, each minor achievement resonates with intensity. Eventually, the same achievement seems commonplace, as the task at hand appears simpler now. This explains why language learners frequently experience a sense of stagnation just prior to achieving a breakthrough. Their ear has become attuned to the nuances, catching errors that once slipped by unnoticed, making progress feel akin to failure. Even athletes experience this sensation. Their timing enhances, leading them to evaluate themselves against more stringent standards. Beneath the surface, the mind continues its process of refinement. It enhances connections, minimizes unnecessary actions, and accelerates decision-making. Certain transformations reveal themselves solely under heightened pressure. One may navigate unexpected situations with greater ease, or bounce back more swiftly following a mistake. And one might refer to it as luck. Psychology highlights that the development of competence can occur subtly, particularly when one's focus is directed towards areas that require improvement. Anxiety has a way of leading one to blur the lines between what could happen and what is likely to occur. A restless mind perceives potential outcomes as probable. It surveys for threats, subsequently illuminating any signs that corroborate the alert. An unusual feeling transforms into a grave affliction. A response that comes too late transforms into a refusal. A minor error spirals into disaster. The brain is not engaged in mathematical calculations. It seeks to avoid suffering, believing that the most secure approach is to brace for the worst outcomes. The act of preparation may evoke a sense of responsibility, perhaps even a touch of nobility. However, it frequently carries a price. Your focus sharpens, and the body remains in a state of readiness. One begins to live as though the danger has already arrived. One approach to easing the hold is to pose an alternative question. Is this not possible? Because a multitude of possibilities exists. Inquire about the frequency of such occurrences. What might one anticipate witnessing if it were indeed true? Vivid images emerge as anxiety takes its voice. Probability communicates through patterns and base rates. Mastering the art of distinction can transform the entire landscape. Individuals tend to adopt more extreme views when engaging in conversations with friends who share similar beliefs. When individuals with shared beliefs gather in one space, the dynamics frequently change. The dialogue transforms into a battle of allegiance. Every individual presents a somewhat more robust interpretation of the common conviction. The group acknowledges the boldness with their attention and approval. As time passes, the average position gradually shifts toward an extreme, not due to any prior arrangement, but rather because consensus brings a sense of satisfaction. To experience doubt is to feel a sense of betrayal. The group gathers various arguments. A new angle is mentioned by someone. Another provides a striking illustration. Before long, The conviction appears supported by an overwhelming array of justifications. In the absence of counter-arguments, the narrative unfolds seamlessly, so the mind stops practicing restraint. This phenomenon is referred to as group becomes more extreme, and it shows up everywhere. Social circles, digital networks, and activist movements. It has the potential to inspire bravery for noble purposes. Additionally, it has the potential to incite cruelty. The solution does not lie in perpetual strife. It involves encountering differing opinions with respect, and the capacity to maintain curiosity while remaining engaged. Ideas that come to you in a flash often receive a higher evaluation from you. A swift idea can strike with the force of a lightning bolt. A wave of clarity washes over you, and the very swiftness serves as proof of its brilliance. The mind thrives on smoothness. When something arrives effortlessly, it resonates with authenticity, exudes grace, and becomes more deserving of protection. This is the reason individuals become enamored with their initial version, and why a witty remark can surpass a meticulously crafted strategy. Swift action fosters a sense of ownership. When the idea seems to have originated from within, it takes on a certain brilliance. Eventually, even the flaws may fade from view, overshadowed by the compelling essence that initially captivated the audience. This is a common trait that can be found in many individuals. It is an ordinary inclination. One helpful practice is to regard quick ideas as if they were newly baked bread. They emit an incredible aroma when they are warm. They require some time to cool down before being sliced. Exploring an idea does not stifle creativity. It transforms a flicker into a reliable flame. The act of being observed has the potential to enhance one's performance, or it may lead to its downfall. There are instances when the presence of an audience enhances your focus, your posture elevates, your concentration sharpens, and your actions take on a sharp clarity. This effect frequently emerges when a task has been mastered. The presence of others heightens excitement. The additional energy ensures that routines proceed without a hitch. However, when faced with a new, complex, or personally charged task, observation can take on a different perspective. Then focus shifts inward. One begins to observe oneself. Concerns about errors weigh heavily on your mind, and the worry occupies mental space. A musician might find themselves caught in a web of contemplation regarding finger placement. A speaker might find their rhythm slipping away. The same eyes that possess the power to elevate can equally render you immobile. This division clarifies why certain individuals excel in performance, yet find difficulty during rehearsals. In contrast, others take a different approach. The aim is not to eradicate the impact. It is meant to be utilized. Practice diligently until the essential actions become second nature. Then view the audience as a wellspring of energy. Instead of a panel of judges, voices carry the warmth of smiles. Even through the phone, a smile transforms the contours of one's visage, and that alters the sound you produce. The cheeks rise, the mouth opens in a distinct manner, and the voice resonates with greater brilliance. It can be perceived even in its absence. This is why a genuine greeting resonates differently than a contrived one, and why customer service scripts can come across as insincere when the speaker lacks genuine engagement. The mind is attuned to these signals as the tone conveys purpose. A welcoming voice indicates security. A strained voice conveys unease. A subtle change can alter the impact of a sentence. This can also be applied in reverse. When one smiles while speaking, a subtle uplift may be felt within. The body provides feedback to the mind. It forms a cycle. The expression of emotion is conveyed through voice. Moreover, it has the power to influence feelings. A gentle laugh has the power to soothe an argument, and why a frigid tone can penetrate more profoundly than cruel words. The mind has a deep affinity for narratives. Stories distill intricate ideas into a more manageable form. Life, in its essence, is a tangled web of complexities. Reasons intertwine, motives intertwine. As events progress, their significance reveals itself gradually. A narrative transforms that chaos into a form that can be held and understood. It presents an introduction, a pivotal moment, and a conclusion that appears to clarify the reasons behind the events. The compression holds significant strength. It aids in recollection, instruction, and forecasting. It also imparts significance. And significance is among the mind's most cherished forms of currency. A story imparts a moral more swiftly than a spreadsheet ever could. One can quickly develop a sense of empathy for a character rather than for a mere statistic. The risk lies in the potential for narratives to become overly simplistic. They have the power to transform individuals into heroes or villains. They have the ability to conceal sluggish systems that do not align with a coherent narrative. Yet, the affection for narrative is not a flaw. It serves as a means to an end. Upon grasping the tool, one can inquire about the omissions within the narrative, and one can select tales that enrich understanding rather than limit perspective. A seemingly ordinary label has the power to transform an individual's behavior. When one is labeled as intelligent, they might begin to steer clear of circumstances that could expose them to the possibility of being mistaken. Label someone as trouble, and they might begin to behave as if they have nothing left to lose. Labels transcend mere descriptions. These are social signals that influence identity. Once a label is applied, individuals frequently seek out proof that it aligns with their perceptions, because consistency brings a sense of security. The individual identified may also take similar actions. A child celebrated for their helpfulness might strive to engage in supportive behaviors to remain true to that identity. A student who hears they are not good at math might withdraw from the subject before even attempting it, and the disengagement serves as evidence. This is the reason why effective educators commend effort, strategies, and perseverance instead of unchangeable characteristics. Labels influence the way others perceive and interact with you. When a group anticipates kindness, they become aware of kindness around them. If they anticipate selfishness, they observe selfishness. The label transforms into a lens, and this lens evolves into a cycle that reinforces itself. Selecting labels with intention serves as a means of persuasion. Accents are mimicked effortlessly, a subconscious desire for connection driving the behavior. When you share moments with another person, your way of speaking may begin to align with theirs. The cadence transforms, the language evolves, and the harmony of phrases can come together in new ways. This is not a form of mockery for the majority. It is a harmonious alignment. Human beings thrive in social environments, and matching serves as a signal, indicating that I am with you. Laughter, posture, and the rhythm of one's breathing can all play a role in this phenomenon, and it occurs with speech as well. This explains why one may adopt a friend's catchphrase or sound altered after spending a week with family. This is also the reason individuals modify their tone when entering unfamiliar surroundings. The mind perpetually seeks to establish a sense of belonging. At times, the imitation is so nuanced that it reveals itself only when played back on the recording. At times, it becomes clear, leaving one with a sense of embarrassment. The essence lies in the purpose behind it. Much of mimicry occurs as an instinctive effort for unity, rather than as a deliberate act. It reveals the profound depth of the need for connection, reaching deep into the very muscles of the mouth. Emotional moments linger in memory, often appearing more vivid than they actually were. When a moment is filled with emotion, it seems to etch itself into memory. Memories are frequently depicted with remarkable clarity, allowing individuals to relive every intricate detail. However, vividness does not equate to accuracy. Emotion enhances clarity and can reinforce key elements, yet it does not ensure an impeccable account. The mind can hold on to the essence captured in the headline, reconstructing the surrounding details in due time. This can forge a memory that remains vividly clear, even as certain aspects evolve with time. This is significant, as emotional memories influence the choices that lie ahead. They influence your fears, your pursuits, and your self-perception. When a moment of humiliation stands out vividly, it can serve as evidence that you are vulnerable in social situations. When a victorious moment appears perfect, one might misjudge the factors that led to it. A valuable approach involves honoring emotional memories as significant indicators, while maintaining a sense of humility regarding their specifics. The healing through belief has the power to bring about genuine, quantifiable transformations within the body. A sugar pill has the potential to alleviate pain for certain individuals, and the body is not merely feigning this response. The brain's own pharmacy can be influenced by expectation, releasing chemicals that alter the processing of signals. The experience of pain is particularly attuned, as it serves as a forecast of potential danger. When relief is anticipated, the nervous system has the ability to ease its intensity. In studies of movement see Parkinson, the effects of placebos are also evident, manifesting in symptoms such as nausea and fatigue. The essential point is that belief does not possess magical qualities. It is knowledge. The brain employs this mechanism to determine priorities, discern what to overlook, and gauge the intensity of its responses. Thus, the presence of a self-assured clinician, the comfort of a well-known ritual, and the weight of a credible explanation can all hold significant importance. Placebo is not synonymous with fake. The connection between mind and body is so profound that meaning transforms into biology. One can experience discomfort in a rubber hand that is perceived as their own. Imagine a scenario where your actual hand is concealed from sight, while a rubber hand is positioned in its place. When both are stroked in unison, a significant number of individuals begin to perceive the sensation on the artificial hand. The brain engages in the intricate task of piecing together a puzzle. What is rightfully mine? Insight and the right moment frequently prevail. When the rubber hand is perceived as an extension of the body, any threat to it can elicit a genuine flinch, a surge of stress, and in certain instances, a feeling of pain. This illusion transcends mere entertainment. It illustrates the process through which body ownership is formed, rather than something that is inherently assured. The brain holds a representation of oneself, continuously refining that representation based on the most coherent evidence available. This elucidates the phenomenon of phantom limb pain, and the reason tools may begin to be perceived as extensions of the body. The sentiment expressed is one that holds the potential for reinterpretation. The brain reacts to imagined dangers as if they were genuine threats. Even when you are aware of your safety, your body can still react with panic during a frightening film. The heart beats faster, muscles tighten, and breathing becomes shallow. The brain's alarm systems react to significance rather than to absolute philosophical truths. When a scene appears threatening, the body instinctively readies itself. The same phenomenon occurs with worry. A worried thought can trigger the same stress responses as a real occurrence, as the mind simulates the situation as though it could take place. This proves beneficial when creativity aids in your planning efforts. It proves to be a burden when one's thoughts spiral around dangers that never materialize. The nervous system often struggles to distinguish between the presence of a tiger before you and the one that exists in your mind. The profound insight reveals that safety is experienced as a sensation rather than an objective reality. Training calm frequently involves altering the narrative that your mind is playing. It's more than merely convincing oneself that everything is okay. Individuals tend to gravitate towards faces they know, even if they cannot place them. Present two unfamiliar faces, and one might find themselves inexplicably attracted to the one that seems familiar, despite an inability to pinpoint the reason. An expression that is simply known can evoke a sense of safety, warmth, and trustworthiness. The brain perceives familiarity as a signal for survival. This was witnessed, and life was experienced. The unsettling aspect lies in the fact that this sense of familiarity can emerge in small increments. A fleeting moment, a backdrop image, or even a familiar face can subtly alter preferences without one realizing it. This is one reason why celebrities may appear endearing prior to expressing their thoughts. This explains why initial perceptions may evolve over time, even in the absence of additional details. The mind maintains a silent record of all that it has experienced. When the ledger indicates familiarity, emotions frequently become gentler. Just because something is familiar does not imply it is beneficial. However, the mind tends to perceive it as such, as the unknown often brings with it a sense of danger. One may find themselves yearning for something greater, even when they possess it already. You acquire the item, and rather than experiencing fulfillment, a fresh desire emerges within you. At this moment, the desire for the enhanced addition, the ideal complement, and the subsequent iteration emerges. The act of ownership can intensify desire, as it alters your perception of what captures your attention. Once something belongs to you, your mind begins to notice its imperfections, weigh it against other options, and envision ways it might improve. Marketing relies on this concept by presenting an enhanced version of yourself, prompting your mind to pursue fulfillment. An intriguing twist of identity unfolds. When something integrates into your life, it weaves itself into your narrative, making the act of enhancing it feel akin to enhancing yourself. This illustrates how hobbies can transform into quests for gear, and how home projects can stretch on without end. Desiring more does not equate to greed. At times, it is the mind attempting to complete a cycle it has initiated. I put my resources into this, so it ought to feel just right. Understanding that the loop has the power to bring back a sense of peace. Reiterating a falsehood can transform it into something reminiscent of a recollection. Repeat a notion frequently, and it begins to take on the essence of reality within your thoughts. Repetition fosters mastery. The statement becomes simple to access, and simplicity can seem like proof. As time passes, the origin of the claim may fade from memory, yet the claim itself remains vivid in your mind. Then, it begins to take on the qualities of a personal memory. It is recalled that this was indeed the case. This effect may also occur with narratives shared about one's own experiences. A streamlined rendition emerges as the easily accessible alternative, supplanting the more chaotic original. The peril lies in the fact that repeated notions may transform mere hopes into a sense of certainty. Accusations can transform into certainty, particularly within groups that collectively rehearse the same narrative. One safeguard involves distinguishing the narrative from its origin. Inquire about the moment you first encountered it and what you would consider as evidence, regardless of the outcome. Memory can be influenced by repetition, even if that repetition is inaccurate. The mind perceives uncertainty as a source of stress, even in the absence of any real threat. The uncertainty of what lies ahead can create tension within the body, even in the absence of any real threat. The brain's prediction systems remain on high alert due to uncertainty. Without the ability to foresee what lies ahead, true relaxation remains elusive. Thus, the anticipation of results often weighs heavier than the burden of receiving unfavorable news. At the very least, bad news is straightforward. Your thoughts can strategize. Amidst the uncertainty, plans remain on hold, while the nervous system continues to expend energy. This compels individuals to seek out answers, even if they are flimsy, as any form of explanation lightens the burden. It further elucidates the reasons behind the comforting nature of routines. Predictability serves as a refuge. The intriguing aspect lies in the fact that minor details can give rise to uncertainty. A message left unread, a tone that invites interpretation, a schedule that remains unclear. The mind continuously seeks new information, akin to a device reloading a web page. Acquiring the ability to endure uncertainty is a significant psychological skill, as numerous aspects of life cannot be swiftly resolved. Serenity often emerges when one ceases to seek flawless assurance from what lies ahead. Individuals perceive what they anticipate, particularly when faced with stress. In times of stress, the brain increasingly relies on its forecasts. With limited time and bandwidth, it relies on familiar templates to make sense of the unfolding events. Such accuracy can prove to be a matter of life and death. Errors may arise when faced with an unusual situation. An individual anticipates animosity, interpreting a neutral expression as a potential danger. A driver anticipates a green light, yet overlooks a warning sign. Under pressure, focus sharpens and interpretations quicken, allowing anticipation to occupy the voids. This is the reason training holds significance. In emergencies, established routines can direct responses when thought processes are sluggish. The danger of stereotypes lies in their ability to mislead and distort perceptions. Expectations can warp perception, especially in moments of haste or tension. The peculiar aspect lies in its remarkable sense of authenticity. The outcome is perceived as an undeniable truth. Psychology encourages one to consider alternative interpretations and possibilities. That question has the potential to revisit the scene and allow fresh insights to emerge. One may find themselves swayed by an individual they hold in disdain, provided that the sentiments expressed resonate on a similar wavelength. One might assume that persuasion hinges solely on likability. However, the mind places significant importance on a sense of shared identity. When an individual conveys an understanding of your experiences, beliefs, or challenges, it can lead to a relaxation of your defenses, despite any irritation their demeanor may cause. Commonality fosters a sense of unity among individuals, enhancing the trust placed in the conveyed message. One may find fault with their style, yet one must acknowledge their framing. This explains why skilled persuaders reflect language, draw on shared experiences, and incorporate inside jokes. A bridge is being constructed prior to any request for you to cross it. The disquieting aspect lies in the potential for this to be harnessed for either benevolent purposes or deceitful manipulation. A scammer who shares your background may find a sense of security. A demagogue, reflecting your frustrations, may seem genuine. A wise approach is to distinguish between comfort and reality. Inquire about the evidence that backs the assertion, rather than asking if the individual feels acquainted. Resemblance serves as a social indicator, yet it does not ensure certainty. Nostalgia alleviates feelings of isolation and bolsters one's drive. A recollection of connection can serve as a comforting embrace for the heart. In moments of isolation, reflecting on a time when one felt loved, included, or understood can ease the pain of the present. Nostalgia not only reflects on the past, but also serves as a catalyst for future progress. It serves as a reminder that connection can be achieved and that you have endured difficult times in the past. During transitions, individuals frequently find themselves enveloped in nostalgia as their minds seek to anchor their sense of identity. This is who they have been, and they remain that person. Such stability has the potential to enhance motivation, encouraging a greater willingness to embrace social risks, chase after goals, or re-engage with meaningful routines. Nostalgia can be evoked by music, locations, aromas, or even a vintage photograph, and its impact can manifest swiftly. Finding equilibrium is essential. Wholesome reminiscence does not involve fleeing from the now. It draws upon the strength of history, confronting the present with renewed bravery. Individuals may exhibit greater kindness when they experience a sense of awe. As one stands beneath a sky filled with stars or observes a rocket ascending into the clouds, a certain release within the self can be felt. Awe emerges when one encounters something that transcends the ordinary, diminishing the boundaries of self in relation to the world. In that state, individuals frequently exhibit increased generosity, heightened patience, and a greater readiness to assist others. It seems the mind takes a momentary retreat from concerns of status, tallying scores, and minor annoyances. Researchers connect awe to a diminished sense of self, where individual worries seem less significant and a sense of connection arises more effortlessly. One can witness it following an exhilarating concert, a visit to a grand cathedral, or a breathtaking mountain vista that leaves one speechless. While awe may not provide solutions to life's challenges, it has the power to transform the emotional stance one adopts in facing them. For a moment, one is reminded of their connection to something vast, and that reminder can soften how they treat others. Simple rituals possess the power to alleviate anxiety, even if they hold no inherent significance. A ritual may manifest in various forms, such as the gentle tap of a desk prior to an exam, the deliberate stirring of tea in a consistent manner, or the specific sequence in which one ties their shoes. The action may lack causal power, yet it possesses the ability to bring you tranquility. Anxiety stems, in part, from a sense of unpredictability, while ritual offers a controlled pocket of order. The mind perceives repetition as a form of consistency. It also directs focus towards actions that can break cycles of anxiety. Before a free throw, athletes engage in this practice. Performers adopt it prior to a show, and countless individuals partake in it before difficult conversations, often without awareness. The ritual transforms into a pathway, leading from doubt to decisive movement. It need not adhere to logic to provide comfort. The mind seeks not for evidence, but rather for a sign that you are ready. A steady rhythm can offer that indication, allowing the body to find calm and prepare for what comes next. Sharing a secret fosters a quicker bond between individuals. A secret serves as a form of social currency, as it conveys a sense of trust. When one reveals something private, they are entrusting another with a fragment of their vulnerability, wagering that it will be safeguarded with care. The wager has the potential to deepen our connection, as it establishes a common boundary separating us from others. The brain perceives the risk, interpreting the other person's response as a reflection of their character. When they respond with care, the nervous system finds ease, and the connection strengthens swiftly. Friendship can seem to blossom in an instant. Late-night conversations often carry a weight of intensity, allowing individuals to forge deep connections during lengthy journeys or amidst challenging situations. One must also exercise caution in this regard. A swift connection may surpass genuine understanding of an individual's dependability. Beginning with something modest can be prudent, gradually allowing trust to pave the way for deeper revelations. Nevertheless, the fundamental mechanism holds significant strength. In a single conversation, secrets have the power to transform strangers into allies. Sharing laughter fosters a deeper sense of trust among those who may have once been strangers. Collective laughter serves as a physical connection that unfolds within us. As laughter erupts among people, their timing harmonizes, their breaths synchronize, and their expressions effortlessly reflect one another. The brain interprets this coordination as a sense of safety. The signals are understood in the same manner, and the responses align accordingly. The feeling of a common beat can quickly ease barriers, even among individuals who are strangers to one another. Within groups, laughter serves as a binding force. It indicates that the environment is secure enough for individuals to unwind, and when people are at ease, they are more inclined to collaborate. This illustrates how humor can alleviate stress and how shared jokes foster a sense of community. A hostile room can transform when an individual successfully breaks the ice with well-timed humor. Joyful moments do not hinge on profound consensus. Rather, they thrive on a harmonious sense of timing. Once that timing is established, trust can start to flourish. Laughter serves as a small practice of harmony, and the mind perceives it as significant. Experiencing rejection can hurt your heart, just like a real wound can stimulate the brain similarly to how a physical injury would. When one is gazed through, interrupted time and again, or treated as if invisible, the impact can resonate with an unexpected sharpness. The body responds as though something is amiss in a tangible manner. This becomes clear when one considers that humans developed within communities, where being left out could signify peril. The brain perceives social disconnection as a danger to survival, activating alarm systems that similarly react to physical injury. Being ignored can lead to a tight chest, a flushed face, and a wave of agitation. It has the potential to drive individuals to act in extreme ways. Some retreat to escape further suffering, while others react with aggression, simply to gain attention. Even the smallest moments can hold significance. An unread message lingers, a greeting fades into silence, and a meeting unfolds where your idea is brushed aside. The mind begins to search for the cause, driven by a desire to mend the connection. Comprehending this reaction may not eliminate it, yet it has the potential to lessen feelings of shame. The pain is not a sign of frailty. Rather, it is the natural response of biology calculating social dynamics. The mind wrestles with the possibilities of how things might have unfolded differently. Once an event unfolds, it shapes the visible path ahead, while other possibilities diminish, like roads left in darkness. The mind struggles to grasp various realities simultaneously, leading it to perceive the actual outcome as unavoidable. Naturally, it unfolded in this manner. This phenomenon reflects how our perception of the past can create an illusion of predictability that wasn't truly there. It also molds regret. One might become preoccupied with a single, seemingly insignificant decision that altered the course of events, despite the multitude of potential outcomes that remained unknown at the time. Simultaneously, one might overlook how effortlessly the narrative could have unfolded differently, leading to a tendency to evaluate oneself and others with undue severity. The mind gravitates towards a clear storyline, and the sense of inevitability stands as the purest form of that clarity. A beneficial approach is to envision several plausible alternatives, steering clear of fantastical conclusions. This exercise brings back a sense of humility regarding the role of chance, the importance of context, and the constraints of limited information. It has the potential to revive compassion, illustrating how countless lives diverge from a singular moment. Individuals often offer wiser counsel than they adhere to in their own lives. Ask someone what a friend should do, and you may get a clear, balanced answer. Inquire about their actions in a similar circumstance, and all at once, the way forward becomes unclear. This occurs as distance alters perception. When the issue is not your own, you can perceive the framework rather than the danger. You notice the pattern, you weigh trade-offs, and you are less tangled in ego. When the issue belongs to you, your sense of self is at stake. Embarrassment, loss, and the possibility of being wrong can overwhelm the mental space that good judgment occupies. The wisdom may linger within you, yet it remains elusive and difficult to grasp clearly. Imagining a friend in your position holds remarkable power. It creates psychological distance, and distance invites wisdom. It can also reveal what you truly believe before your emotions negotiate it away. The strange truth is that you may already know what to do, and your job is to make your own situation feel as solvable as someone else's. You remember insults longer than compliments, even from strangers. A careless remark can echo for years, while sincere praise slips away by dinner. The mind gives insults extra weight because they carry information about social threat. A compliment feels pleasant, but an insult can signal danger to belonging, reputation, and safety. The brain stores it as a warning label. It replays the moment to extract meaning, and each replay refreshes the sting. Even when the speaker was wrong, the memory can keep its power because it attached to emotion. Compliments often do not trigger the same urgency. They feel nice. Then the mind moves on, since safety does not demand action. This bias can shape self-image. A single jab can start a story like, "I am awkward," while dozens of positive experiences fail to counterbalance it. One way to fight this is to treat compliments as data, not decoration. Reiterate them, document them, and allow them to sink in. Otherwise, one's recollections might shape a reality more unforgiving than the actual one experienced. Your mind leans towards swift conclusions rather than deliberate precision. A swift response brings a sense of ease. It resolves the uncertainty, allowing your thoughts to progress. In contrast, a measured approach requires a sense of patience. It invites you to embrace conflicting possibilities, collect evidence, and acknowledge the presence of uncertainty. The mind frequently pushes back against that, particularly in moments of fatigue, stress, or social pressure. This is the reason snap judgments often appear clear-cut, and why initial explanations can solidify into unwavering beliefs. Swift assurance also safeguards one's identity. When one determines their own correctness, confusion no longer holds sway over them. The narrative reveals that initial conclusions may be drawn from insufficient data, and such scant information can lead to assured errors. This can be observed in escalating arguments, in the spread of rumors, and in decisions made hastily under pressure. The ability lies in discerning when a circumstance calls for a more deliberate approach to thought. An effective signal is emotional intensity. The greater the intensity of your emotions, the more your mind seeks the solace of certainty. In those moments, a pause can embody a certain wisdom. Individuals may experience genuine sensations through the process of hypnosis. Hypnosis does not equate to mind control, nor is it akin to sleep. It is a concentrated condition in which suggestion can profoundly influence experience. Under hypnosis, individuals may experience sensations that aren't present, or they might find that they lose feeling in a specific part of their body, as if a switch has been turned off. Others may encounter sensations of warmth, weight, or striking visuals with unexpected strength. This functions effectively, as perception encompasses not just incoming signals, but also the process of interpretation. Hypnosis focuses attention, diminishes distracting thoughts, and heightens receptiveness to a narrative that guides the experience. In the realm of suffering, this can be particularly profound. Recommendations have the potential to alter the way pain signals are interpreted, leading some individuals to experience noticeable decreases in their discomfort. Hypnotizability varies among individuals, and it is not a mere trick that can be summoned at will. Yet, it uncovers a depth that is truly significant. The brain has the capacity to create sensation purely from meaning, provided the right conditions are present. The sensation remains genuine, regardless of its nature. It transforms the mind into a formidable creator, adept at weaving words into tangible experiences. The way one perceives the world is profoundly influenced by their inner voice. The voice in one's head serves not merely as commentary. It possesses the power to shape perception. As the events unfold with an air of menace, the body instinctively tenses, and the mind sharpens its focus, seeking out potential threats. When the same events are framed as challenges, a sense of capability often arises, even if external circumstances remain unchanged. The inner voice exerts an influence on memory as well. When one believes, "I always mess this up," their mind begins to gather instances that support this belief, while disregarding the times when things went well. In moments of stress, the voice emerges as a guiding force, offering directives, foreseeing results, and occasionally interjecting with critical assessments. Athletes and performers frequently engage with an alternative narrative, one that provides explicit guidance rather than negative feedback. A subtle change from "I can't" to "I'm learning" can transform your next endeavors. The intriguing aspect lies in the fact that one typically perceives the voice as a personal entity, yet it also serves as a means to convey deeper narratives. The tone can be molded, and in turn, it can influence the course of your life. The language chosen can alter the memories you hold dear. Language possesses the ability to traverse time, reshaping its boundaries. When a crash is referred to as a smash, the recollection may later encompass heightened speed, increased damage, and amplified drama compared to labeling it a bump. This occurs as memory Your mind tenderly weaves together itself through significance, with words providing that significance. The label selected integrates into the reconstruction, causing the event to align with the label. This is the reason why disputes can evolve in unexpected ways as time passes. Two individuals recall the same conversation in contrasting ways, as each person recounted it using distinct language afterward. One recounts it as an attack occurred. The other recounts it as though honesty was my guiding principle. Those narrations do not merely recount memory, they transform it. Even your private journaling can possess this strength. Severe words can deepen a hurt. Using precise language can enhance the narrative by increasing its accuracy. Words serve a purpose beyond mere communication with others. They also facilitate a dialogue with your own mind. When fatigue sets in, individuals perceive moral decisions through a varied lens. In moments of exhaustion, one may find their moral reasoning subtly altering, often without awareness. The mind finds itself with diminished energy for patience, nuance, and the ability to see from different perspectives, leading to increasingly rigid judgments. One might find themselves feeling less forgiving, increasingly suspicious, and more attuned to immediate rule-breaking rather than considering the broader context. Concurrently, the ability to exercise self-control may diminish. One might find themselves compromising their own standards, only to later reflect on their actions with a critical eye. This serves as a reason why late-night arguments tend to intensify. A weary mind grasps for quick resolutions, finding it difficult to embrace two realities simultaneously. They cause me pain, and perhaps it was unintentional. Fatigue may diminish empathy, as managing emotions requires considerable effort. None of this implies that weary individuals lack morality. Moral decisions are not the product of an abstract intellect. They arise from a brain that is firmly situated within a body. Rest alters the brain's capabilities, and these capabilities transform the perception of choices. One might not fully appreciate the frequency with which we alter our perspectives. Many individuals prefer to maintain a sense of consistency, leading the mind to subtly revise its own narrative. An opinion is updated, and in due time, a realization dawns that this perspective has always lingered, as the narrative unfolds with a certain fluidity. This phenomenon can occur within the realms of politics, relationships, and personal identity. One alters their taste in music, their perception of a friend, their convictions regarding health, and then regards this transformation as both clear and unavoidable. The unexpected reality reveals that minds are ever-changing and elusive. They react to fresh insights, novel experiences, and different social environments, and they do so more frequently than we acknowledge. This does not signify a lack of strength. It is a transformation. To deny the change is to forfeit the opportunity for growth and understanding. One cannot inquire about what influenced me if one acts as though they were never influenced themselves. Recognizing shifts in one's mindset can foster a greater sense of humility towards others. If you have moved frequently, it's possible that they are also experiencing similar changes. The brain has an astonishing ability to adjust to a new normal in a remarkably swift manner. On the first day, a new routine may seem utterly unattainable. Yet, within a week, it can transform into something remarkably mundane. The brain is designed to adjust, as enduring emotional intensity would be draining. Following a relocation, the end of a relationship, a career change, or the onset of a health challenge, the mind starts to construct new anticipations. It adapts to the new patterns of the day, ceasing to respond as though the change is an ongoing crisis. This may bring a sense of solace. However, it may also pose risks. Individuals may come to accept mistreatment as a standard part of their lives. They endure a life filled with unending stress, losing touch with the sensation of tranquility. On a positive note, the ability to adapt allows for greater recovery from setbacks than one might realize. The initial days frequently seem to serve as evidence that one is unable to cope. However, Those days represent a significant transformation within the mind. It is reshaping expectations regarding the essence of life. When those forecasts shift, the familiar reality may take on a more buoyant quality, not due to a decrease in difficulty, but because your nervous system ceased to perceive it as something entirely unfamiliar. Anger may seem formidable, yet it frequently conceals underlying fear. Anger can rise with the intensity of a powerful force. It instills a sense of certainty, clarity, and preparedness for action. That power contributes to its potential for addiction. Yet beneath the surface, anger frequently conceals a deeper vulnerability, a deep-seated apprehension of facing disrespect, a deep-seated anxiety about relinquishing authority, a lingering apprehension of experiencing pain once more. Anger emerges as a more manageable emotion than fear, providing a buffer against the discomfort of pain. In times of conflict, this holds significance. When two individuals exchange anger, they frequently overlook the underlying issue that ignited the conflict. A minor fear is concealed, only to expand and ultimately erupt into fury. In public, anger may serve as a shield, concealing deeper vulnerabilities. Individuals frequently find a sense of security in anger rather than fear, as anger projects an image of strength. The revelation lies in the distinction between strength and clarity. Anger may indicate a limit, yet it can also cloud one's perception. Discovering the question, "What am I afraid of at this moment?" can transform intensity into understanding. Individuals often interpret silence as a sign of dissent, despite it sometimes reflecting deep contemplation. Silence may be misunderstood, as the mind tends to struggle with unclear social cues. As a moment of silence lingers, thoughts begin to swirl, pondering the reasons behind it. Do they feel anger, feeling uninterested, assessing you, or distancing oneself? In truth, they might be contemplating with great care, selecting language, or navigating feelings. The discrepancy arises as individuals rely on their personal style as a benchmark. When words rush forth, the absence of sound seems to stretch away. When time is required, silence becomes a familiar companion. Within groups, silence can amplify significantly. A reserved individual may be perceived as unfriendly or indifferent, influencing the reactions of those around them. Then the social loop grows tighter. The reserved individual senses a lack of warmth, prompting them to retreat further into silence. This holds significance in relationships as well. Some individuals require moments of silence to prevent uttering something thoughtless, whereas their partner perceives this silence as a form of rejection. A straightforward remedy lies in identifying the quietude one might ponder. Alternatively, a moment is being taken. A small phrase has the power to avert an entire misinterpretation. The mind anticipates the actions of others, yet it frequently misses the mark. The dynamics of one's social life hinge on the ability to foresee outcomes. One constantly predicts how another might respond to a joke, a confession, or a request. As the moment approaches, one finds themselves altering their actions accordingly. The mind draws upon previous experiences, societal stereotypes, and emotional signals to anticipate the forthcoming action. While it operates with efficiency, it is susceptible to inaccuracies, much like the unpredictability of weather forecasts. Individuals embody intricate systems. Their transformation is influenced by emotions, circumstances, and concealed details that remain out of sight. When the prediction falters, one experiences a sense of shock, betrayal, or embarrassment, as the mind had already envisioned an alternate conclusion. This also influences feelings of unease. Conversation might be avoided, as one anticipates it will not end well, all based on mere speculation. One method to enhance forecasting is to collect actual data. Pose inquiries. Examine the underlying beliefs. Be aware that you are predicting outcomes, not deciphering thoughts. The mind often behaves as though it possesses knowledge, as this sense of understanding brings a comforting sense of security. In the realm of social interactions, the pursuit of curiosity frequently proves to be a more secure path than the embrace of certainty. One can experience a sense of empathy for the forms that shift across the display. Introduce a handful of triangles and circles with a straightforward motion pattern, and soon enough, your imagination will begin to weave a narrative filled with tension and intrigue. One shape pursues, another conceals itself, yet another exerts dominance, and in an instant, emotions like concern or anger arise, as if these shapes possess their own sentiments. This occurs as the brain is attuned to recognize agency. It continually inquires, is there life present, and what are its desires? When movement appears intentional, the mind instinctively attributes reasons behind it. It is not a decision made by you. It comes forth as a narrative. The narrative has the power to evoke genuine feelings, as feelings are inherently linked to significance. This illustrates how animation can evoke deep emotions, even when one is aware that the characters are merely illustrations. This explains the emotional bonds that individuals form with virtual pets and game avatars. The social brain can engage without the necessity of a human face. It demands designs that echo purpose. Once intention is recognized, empathy begins to illuminate, and one starts to care for pixels and geometry as if they possessed life. A solitary compliment has the power to transform an individual's narrative for years to come. A single sentence can take root like a seed. They possess a remarkable ability to clarify complex concepts. They create an atmosphere of safety for others. I have faith in you. When it comes at the perfect time, it has the power to transform an individual's perception of their own potential. The mind seeks reflections eagerly. Identity is shaped in part by the reactions of others, particularly when the source is perceived as trustworthy. A compliment may serve as a reference point, lingering in a person's mind during moments of uncertainty. It has the potential to influence actions. Those who see themselves as creative tend to explore a wider array of imaginative pursuits. When one perceives themselves as the steady presence, they naturally present themselves in that manner. The praise transforms into a subtle guide. This operates under the premise that identity is fluid. The narrative is evolving, shaped by societal input that introduces unexpected turns. The weight of responsibility is undeniable. Thoughtless remarks may cause damage, yet precise and honest commendation can create opportunities. One can never predict which sentence will transform into a lasting testament for another. Individuals often evaluate their own motives, yet they assess others based on their deeds. Within the confines of one's mind, the rationale for actions becomes clear. The weight of stress you bore, the precision of your aim, the instant you intended to make a wiser choice. Thus, when a mistake occurs, the mind instinctively seeks out context. The intention was not there, or perhaps an effort was made. With others, that intimate access is not granted. The result unfolds, and that result transforms the entire narrative. This discord fosters perpetual tension. Two individuals may depart from the same occurrence with entirely contrasting conclusions, as each one evaluates a distinct aspect of the experience. It also influences the act of forgiveness. One might swiftly absolve oneself while hastily judging others, often without recognizing the inherent double standard at play. Psychology refers to this phenomenon as the actor-observer difference, highlighting its significance due to the fact that it can be addressed. A subtle change proves beneficial. When assessing others, consider what motivation might reasonably underlie their behavior. When reflecting on oneself, consider what your actions conveyed, irrespective of your intentions. Individuals tend to exhibit greater honesty when they perceive a sense of anonymity. When one's name and visage are at stake, the act of being truthful may seem perilous. Concerns about judgment, repercussions, and the fear of being confined to an inescapable label weigh heavily on your mind. Being anonymous alleviates certain social pressures. It has the potential to diminish the desire to act, and it can facilitate the acknowledgement of imperfections, dissenting views, or awkward moments. This explains why individuals share confessions online that they would refrain from voicing in a social setting, and why anonymous surveys frequently uncover elevated instances of sensitive actions. The impact is not solely virtuous. When anonymity is present, it may diminish feelings of empathy, potentially resulting in acts of cruelty. Nevertheless, the aspect of honesty is intriguing. It implies that numerous individuals are not untruthful out of a fondness for deceit. They are not being truthful due to their apprehension about the consequences in society. As fear dissipates, the truth emerges. To elicit greater honesty from an individual, lower the stakes involved. Inquire without fear of retribution, hear without surprise, and allow space for intricacy. Safety has the power to achieve what pressure cannot. The mind is drawn to the new and exciting, yet it yearns for the comfort of familiarity even more. Curiosity is ignited by the allure of the unfamiliar. It captures attention, brings time to life, and has the power to awaken you from a state of autopilot. Yet, even as one pursues novelty, the nervous system quietly inquires, is this safe? When uncertainty looms, the body may tighten, and what once was curiosity can shift into a sense of caution. This struggle illustrates the reason behind people's dreams of travel, followed by the anxiety that arises when those plans materialize. It reveals the dual nature of a new relationship, capturing the exhilarating highs and the daunting lows that can unfold within the span of just 1 hour. While novelty presents a tempting reward, it is the comfort of safety that brings a sense of relief. The mind desires a balance, which is why it frequently pursues safe novelty, exploring new experiences within known limits. Same cafe, a new beverage choice, familiar themes, fresh narrative. Growth frequently emerges from the careful expansion of boundaries, rather than through their destruction. When safety is prioritized, innovation transforms into an opportunity for exploration, rather than a source of danger. Thus unfolds the journey of the mind, advancing with each courageous step taken. Attention can be developed and strengthened through consistent practice. Much like a muscle, attention appears to be a trait one possesses or lacks. Yet it is indeed a skill that can be developed. Each time you observe your thoughts, drifting, and gently guide them back, you engage in a cycle of repetition. As the weeks pass, the repetitions enhance one's capacity to concentrate on their purpose. This illustrates how meditation has the potential to transform everyday life, even with minimal practice. It is not merely about clearing the mind. Rather, it focuses on the art of returning. Athletes also hone their focus by mastering the ability to fixate on a cue amidst pressure. Musicians maintain their focus on tempo and tone, even amidst the distractions of the room. In today's fast-paced world, even engaging with lengthy texts has become a challenge, as distractions are ever present and designed to pull one's focus away. The intriguing aspect lies in the fact that attention training has the power to transform one's emotional experiences. By maintaining focus, one can observe a feeling emerging without being swept away by it. A small gap appears, presenting a choice to be made. It is at that crossroads that the essence of self-control begins to take shape. Experiencing rejection often drives individuals to find a sense of belonging within perilous circles. When an individual experiences exclusion, the mind instinctively seeks a pathway to re-enter the fold of community. The desire to belong is a fundamental human need, often leading to an overwhelming intensity. A collective that provides immediate belonging, defined identity, and straightforward guidelines may seem like salvation, despite the potential dangers it harbors. Such groups, including extremist movements, violent gangs, and toxic online communities, frequently grasp this concept. It presents a narrative that elucidates your suffering and provides a space where you are truly appreciated. Upon entering, allegiance transforms into the cost of security. The group might insist on seclusion from those outside, complicating the act of departure. The unsettling aspect lies in the remarkably human nature of the journey. For many individuals, the initial draw is not ideology. They are brought together through their connections. This is the reason prevention frequently appears unexciting. Robust friendships, encouraging mentors, and welcoming communities serve as vital shields that can prevent the quest from ever starting. To effectively reduce radicalization, one must go beyond merely debating ideas. Additionally, you create spaces where individuals desire to connect and feel at home. During intense moments, stress can create the illusion of time stretching out. In a terrifying moment, time can expand. A car swerves, a glass falls, a voice turns sharp, and in that instant, the moment stretches, inviting deeper reflection. This phenomenon occurs as stress alters the focus of attention. The mind sharpens its focus, capturing a wealth of detail in each fleeting moment, resulting in a memory that feels richly expanded over time. It resembles capturing moments with an elevated frame rate. Upon replaying it, the pace appears to slow down, as it is filled with a greater depth of information. The pressure of stress propels the body into a state of heightened alertness, amplifying the sound of each heartbeat and weighing down the passage of time. This distortion serves a purpose. It might have aided ancestors in their survival by providing the mind with more actionable details in times of danger. The twist reveals a potential for deception. One might perceive an argument as enduring endlessly, despite its brevity, or think that an individual had ample time to respond, when in reality, they did not. Time transcends the mere ticking of a clock. The experience is molded by the state. In moments of fear, the mind sharpens its focus, making threats resonate more distinctly than ordinary sounds. Fear sharpens your senses, much like a radio adjusting to an urgent broadcast. In a tranquil state, one can endure the uncertainty in sound. A hushed word remains, shrouded in silence. In a state of fear, the mind begins to search for signs of danger, and specific sounds emerge prominently. A sudden laugh may echo with a hint of derision. The echo of footsteps may resonate with the feeling of being chased. Even a neutral tone can be interpreted as aggressive. This occurs as the urgency of threat detection compels the brain to prioritize the possibility of a false alarm over the risk of overlooking a genuine threat. Your body becomes part of the experience. The muscles tighten, the breath alters, and the entire system readies itself for action. The outcome reveals that a neutral sound may forfeit its impartiality. This holds significance in everyday existence. A parent under stress perceives a tone of disrespect in their child's voice. A tense employee perceives frustration in the boss's succinct communication. One beneficial approach is to first observe the condition. When fear begins to swell, consider your understanding of sound as a theory rather than a conclusion. Serenity alters your perception of sound. Under stress, the mind may blur the lines between what is imagined and what is perceived. In moments of stress, the distinction between reality and possibility can become indistinct. The mind begins to conjure scenarios at an astonishing pace, each simulation taking on a vividness that feels almost tangible. One envisions the accident, the humiliation, the rejection, and the body responds as though it has already occurred. That reaction subsequently serves as proof that the danger exists. A constricted chest serves as evidence. A racing heart serves as a sign of affirmation. This loop can lead individuals to misinterpret shadows as figures or perceive a harmless sound as a potential threat, particularly in shadowy or ambiguous environments. It has the potential to lead to social missteps. One might envision another assessing them, prompting a shift towards defensiveness that alters the course of the interaction. The underlying message reveals that stress heightens dependence on internal frameworks. In moments of uncertainty, your mind tenderly weaves together its own narratives to bridge the voids of understanding. To achieve clarity, it is essential to first lower arousal levels. Taking slow breaths, finding your footing, and observing your surroundings can assist in re-establishing control over your senses. Some individuals experience the suffering of others as if it were their own. For certain individuals, empathy transcends mere concept. It is an event of the body. As they witness another's pain, a heavy weight settles in their stomach. Their skin tingles and their muscles twitch, as though the force had reverberated throughout the space. This can be connected to powerful vicarious reactions within the brain's action and sensation systems that play a role in understanding the emotions of others. It contributes to the discomfort you feel during a scene in the film that captures reality. For those with a deep sense of empathy, the reactions may be more intense and occur with greater regularity. This has the potential to be truly beautiful. It has the power to evoke profound compassion in individuals, prompting them to offer assistance swiftly. It can also be draining, as their nervous system dedicates more time to responding to the emotions of those around them. Many navigate it by establishing boundaries, selecting environments with care, and exercising compassion that allows for a mindful approach without the need to absorb everything. The intriguing insight reveals that the social brain is intricately connected to the body. Grasping the essence of others involves a certain physical aptitude, and for some individuals, this ability is heightened to its fullest extent. The mind, as revealed by psychology, possesses great power, yet can often be untrustworthy. The mind possesses the remarkable ability to construct a world from incomplete information, transforming belief into tangible reality and influencing decisions even before they are consciously recognized as such. Such is the essence of power. However, the very system that enhances adaptability simultaneously exposes one to the pitfalls of illusion, bias, and misguided certainty. The brain is designed for quick responses and survival instincts, rather than flawless precision. It employs shortcuts, places faith in narratives, and safeguards identity. The features assist in functioning, yet they possess the potential to mislead, particularly in moments of stress, within groups, or when faced with incomplete information. The significance of psychology lies in its ability to provide a guide to these tendencies. Upon recognizing the patterns, one can engage with them effectively. One can cultivate improved habits, pose more insightful questions, and regard initial impressions as preliminary thoughts rather than conclusive assessments. The aim is to cultivate trust in oneself. The aim is to gain insight into oneself. A formidable instrument reveals its true safety as one discovers its boundaries, and that encapsulates the essence of this entire journey. As the journey draws to a close this evening, you might find your thoughts shifting in a new direction, akin to a room that transforms once the lights are softened. They wandered through the hidden habits of the mind, exploring the shortcuts it takes, the stories it weaves, and the subtle ways it molds what seems real. The exploration revealed the ways in which memory shifts, how emotion influences perception, and how belief can flow through the body, akin to weather moving across a landscape. When considered as a whole, these concepts illustrate a mind that is neither shattered nor indifferent, but rather profoundly human. A mind that anticipates, safeguards, adjusts, and occasionally deceives, all to assist you in navigating a complicated world. You are not a creation designed for flawless precision. One is a living system, molded by the threads of connection, the essence of meaning, and the tapestry of experience. At this moment, all that remains is emptiness, devoid of anything to scrutinize or grasp. Allow the thoughts to rest where they may, akin to leaves gently floating to the calm surface of water. As one allows their breathing to slow, shoulders to soften, and awareness to gently widen, a sense of fading emerges. Should any thoughts remain, allow them to drift away effortlessly. There is no necessity to accompany them on their journey. If you find yourself still awake and inclined to carry on with this serene journey, another video will be ready for you on the screen, a destination where your curiosity can guide you next. Should these serene journeys have woven themselves into the fabric of your evening routine, you are always invited to express your appreciation, subscribe, or share your reflections below. It guides others on their journey here as well, one weary spirit at a time. Yet, for the moment, take a pause. Allow the day to release its hold. Allow the night to guide your journey forward. And so, together we have explored the gentlest secrets of the mind. Thank you for being here, listening, and allowing your soul to rest with Sleep Science Top 1. This is not just a video. This is a quiet space you can return to any night when the world outside becomes too noisy. If you feel these journeys bring you a little peace, please give yourself a like, subscribe, so you don't miss the next peaceful evenings. And if you wish, share a short comment below. Where am I resting tonight? Your answer will not only connect us, but also lead those seeking tranquility here. Now, let your breath slow, let your mind drift, and let the night embrace you gently. Good night. I'll be waiting for you next night.